Hey guys, back here with another video again. Gonna be talking about some TV shows and some Dice Masters today. Um, just gonna make this a really kind of quick video because I've got some other things I'm gonna head out and doing. But today is the 5th, so remember today, November 5th, 2015. Happy Guy Fawkes Day, or V for Vendetta Day, or whatever it is that you want to call it. Anyways, so I guess we'll go ahead and start with the Dice Master since this is just a quick run through. For those of you who don't know, I play this game called Dice Masters. It was quick history. It was created by Scott Lang and my bad. His name is Mike Elliott and Eric M. Lang. This game created by them. They work for WizKids, which is the same company that is behind HeroClix, and it is a dice building game. It is a dice building game based off of Quarriors, which is another dice building game built by the same company, WizKids. But this one is in the flavor more of superheroes and comic book heroes, which is why I'm into it. So yeah, really quickly here. Basically, the basic setup is you have a team of 8 people, 8 characters or actions, and each player has 20 life, and it's like Magic. You're trying to kill each other. You buy dice, and the dice become your resources and your energy to purchase more dice or to play characters, and to also use card abilities and stuff. So yeah, similar. Only difference is that your opponent is fully aware of what you're playing. You're more concerned about what kind of you're playing rather than what your opponent playing against your opponent. But still, it's a lot of fun. Good mechanics and stuff. I like it a lot. And it's dice. Who doesn't like rolling dice? I trust dice more than I trust cards, or at least a deck, rather. Because yeah. Anyways, there is a professional dice circuit that's starting up within this community. It's gotten really, really big, really popular. So people like it a lot. And so they're going to be starting a dice professional circuit. And because our tournament organizer at iStore is really awesome, he signed us up, and we are the only store in the state of Utah that will be playing for that circuit. The next closest one, I believe, is in Colorado, which I still might try and make it to. So yeah, that would be cool. That's gonna be fun. Anyways, I'm gonna be playing in this unlimited format, which is basically all the cards that have been released yet so far. So far, there are 5 sets, I believe, out now. It started with Avengers vs. X-Men, started next with Uncanny X-Men after that. After that, I believe, was Dungeons and Dragons Battle of Faerun, Yu-Gi-Oh! After that, DC Justice League, Marvel's Age of Ultron, and then this most recent one was War of Light. The next set is going to be The Amazing Spider-Man, which comes out next week. No, in 2 weeks. Yeah, so that'll be exciting. I'm really excited for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Spider-Man. So right now I'm playing this team of characters, and it is all focused around this one particular card. This is the staple card in the team. This is a Lantern Ring, 4 bolt cost, Green Lantern affiliation, and it is an action affiliated card. Also, that's what this symbol up here means. So yeah, in the game there are 4 different types of energy. There are bolts, fists, masks, and shields. This team, however, since I'm playing with the Lantern Ring and it goes on your hand, on your finger, and on your hand, I figured why not make it a fist team. So that's what I decided to do. I like flavor. I think that's kind of flavorful. Your ring's going to punch you in the face. My ring's going to punch you in the face. So that's how that's going to happen. This is cool. This is a continuous effect. Continuous meaning that once you play this dice, it is on the field, and the only way to remove it is through action hate cards that specifically say to remove an action dice from the field. So anyways, while this is active, while Lantern is active, when your character attacks, they deal 1 damage to target player for each symbol in your reserve pool that matches their type. Now, there have been some ruling issues with this, and WizKids has come out to say what exactly it means. Basically, the big confusion or thing is that whether I have three bolts in my, let's say I have three bolts in my reserve pool, um, and I attack with three bolt characters. The question is do they do three damage altogether for the three bolts in your pool, or do they do the three damage per attack or per attack? The way I read this, it says they deal one damage to target player for each symbol in your reserve pool that matches their type. The key word I think I see here is they. Meaning that is referring to each of the characters themselves. That has been the ruling at my store, and that's the way we play it. So as you can probably tell, like it can be kind of janky, and like yeah, in the community it's known as pretty janky, and it's not all that fun. But like Unlimited is sort of the competitive format that everybody plays, and you're playing. I don't. I like to play to win. I like to have fun, and I have fun when I'm winning. But I like to play to win, and that's how I like to build my teams. Sometimes I'm not really good at it, but that's just how I like to play, and I'm getting better. So, anyways, this is my ring fist team. I have to come up with a better name with it, for it. So then I'm going. So I'm running kobolds, greater humanoid, swarm. Each during your draw and clear step, or clear and draw step, draw another one if you draw an extra one. So basically, if you have a kobold in the field, you draw another one, and you draw a kobold, then you get to draw another one. If you draw another kobold, you get to draw another one. Basically, the idea is to get all four in your bag so that you can keep them going. They're also going to be your fist energy for your ring, to supplement the ring damage. That's number one. So the Lantern Ring is the crux, and then the next two are going to be supports for it. So yeah, the Kobold, and then Miri. This is actually one of my favorite cards in the new set, or in a War of Light set, just because I think she's really fun. She enables low-costed teams such as this, especially with this one. This is a lot of fun. So when fielded, move a character die from your use pile with purchase cost less than or equal to number of different lantern colors you control in the field zone. So the idea here is to turn one. Well, actually, no. I'll go over that later. So basically, she's going to let you bring in stuff. It doesn't count as a field, however, that doesn't really matter with this team. I just need guys to come in and attack, I just need guys in the field. Those two main threats, my two main attackers are going to be Black Widow. She is a super rare from the Avengers vs. X-Men set. She's a 2-costed fist. When Black Widow attacks, she deals 2 damage to your opponent. Your opponent can prevent this by spinning one of his characters down a level. She's just really good because she's really aggro. You can buy her really quick. She's very, very cheap to field. On her fielding costs of total of 1 on her max face, on her level 3 face. So yeah, she's really, really easy to get out there. Along with this guy, Guy Gardner. He's from the starter set of the War of Light Dice Master set. Guy Gardner, Blinding Rage, 2-costed fist, Red Lantern. Guy Gardner must attack each turn, if able, and gets +1 attack for each attacking dice. So, Guy's actually kind of my finisher in this team. He is basically there to once I have, a Black Widow, to maybe a Kobold, maybe an Iron Fist on the field, whatever. Basically, he's there to finish out the game. And the great thing is that sidekicks enable him as well, and he synergizes really well with anger issues. He's going to get +1/+1 attack. At minimum, you're going to be attacking when you get Guy out. At minimum, you're probably going to be attacking with at least 3 people total. So he's going to get +2/+2 with the reserved bolts, with the reserved fists that there we go, that's the word. With the reserved fists that you're gonna have, he's just gonna make things help out a lot better. And then the anger issues is the global on the anger issues, which we'll get to in a second. So yeah, these are gonna be my 2 main hitters. Black Widow's just to help chunk down. Guy Gardner's gonna help kind of as a board clear, also as just a big threat that they have to deal with, that they will have to block no matter what. Um, so yeah, that's the main team. Oh, and then we have Iron Fist. Excuse me, Iron Fist. He is a promo card that came out of that's within these new organized play um, set that they came out with, or it's not a set, it's just the organized play promos that you get for prizes. So he says, while Iron Fist is active, reduce damage from opposing character abilities by 1. When Iron Fist is KO'd, you may move a fist die with purchase cost 5 or more from your use pile to your prep area. So, looking at that originally, it doesn't seem like it's doing a whole lot for my team. He's not really enabling, but he's there just he's kind of there just to answer another ring team, essentially. He's also good against Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm is gonna ping you, so he's gonna reduce that by 1. He's gonna help out with just in this new set. There are a lot of things that do damage with reserve energy, so that'll help reducing it. If I manage to get 3 of them out, I can reduce the damage down by 3, so that's helpful. It doesn't answer everything, but it does definitely help slow things down for my opponent, especially if I'm going up against another ring team. As for Vicious, there is another card, Vicious Struggle, that I could have some issues with, and I don't know if exactly this works with it or against it. I will have to playtest it to see and find out. I haven't really playtested this very much, due to the fact that I work a lot and I don't get out very much, or that I can't get out very much to do that. But I have been playing it by myself. I did run a different version of this as well against a friend last week when we were playing some games. Didn't work out so well, but I think it will be better now with the kobolds, or now that I know how to play a little bit better. Anyways, actually we'll go to the actions also as well. Basic actions, big entrance. This is the biggest. There are 4 cards in this team that make it run, and I'll go over that in a second. So big entrance. When purchased, you may add this die to your dice bag. When used, dice purchased this turn cost 1 less than their printed cost, minimum of 1. They may be put directly into your dice bag instead of your used pile, no matter how many big entrance dice has been used. So basically, yeah, this is just really, really awesome. You get to buy your stuff for 1 more cheaper. Basically 1, since as you noticed, my whole team is pretty much all 2 costed fist characters or less, or bolt or whatever. Just they're 2 costed characters. This is like the big mainstay. This is actually our turn 1. And then Anger Issues. Anger Issues is just here mostly for the global to get some extra damage through, but also the ability of the dice is really, really nice, especially if I'm playing Guy Gardner and I have him and I'm attacking with like 3 or 4 guys. He's going to get pumped up huge. He's going to get 3 more attack, and he's going to get Overcrush or Trample as Magic players who basically, so yeah, target character gets +3 attack and Overcrush this turn. So yeah, he's just going to help me. This is just going to help me finish out the game with 1 last swing with Guy. So anyways, basically this team is a very, very low-costed efficiency team, and I honestly could get away without running these 2 as well. However, I just like them too much not to play them. Professor Xavier, recruiting young moons. This is common. When fielded, search your bag for up to 2 sidekick dice and roll them. Global, pay a mask. Move 2 sidekick dice from your used pile to your prep area. So this is just going to be our form of ramp. Everybody knows about Professor Xavier, how he's really, really good for ramp, and he keeps your sidekicks out. It's really, really nice. He's always just going to ensure that we're going to be able to buy stuff. And then our last card, which is probably my favorite card that's come out of War of Light so far, along with the Lantern Ring. Just because of the global, I was speaking to our tournament organizer when it first came out, and we were looking at it, and we just both agree that this is a really big game changer. And I'll go into that in just a second as to why, and I'll explain the global. So Parallax, 6 costed mask. He's a villain. He's a yellow lantern. While Parallax is active once per turn, if you have at least 1 energy type in your reserve pool, excluding question marks, you may purchase a action dice for 1 generic energy, and add it to your prep area. So the ability's kind of cool if you're playing like a late game, like big costed action team. That might be kind of fun. But it's really all within the global. The global, use one generic energy. Reroll any number of dice before your attack step. So basically, this just gives you another reroll step. They did, however, errata it and clear it up to saying that it's specifically your dice. Otherwise, that would be ridiculous. Um, and and yeah, this is just a game changer because, in my opinion, well, in this instance, I'm playing a fist team. I'm not always going to get fists. I'm going to roll bolts. I'm going to roll shields. So this is really, really nice because it allows me to re-roll any of those things that I don't need. I can just throw away. Say I have a shield and two kobolds that are on their faces, and I need the fist energy. Well, I can pay that shield, re-roll them, and hopefully get some fist energy so that I can enable the lantern ring. So yeah, Parallax is just a game changer. I just really, really love this card because he allows you to not necessarily bend the rules, but he gives you a better shot at getting what you need. Sometimes you can get a little carried away by using too much energy and not having enough to do things, so you do have to be careful with it. However, it's a dice game. You're rolling. If you're feeling lucky, why not go for it? I just love the card. It's just really, really helpful. So basically with this team, what I'm doing is turn 1, buying big entrance. Hoping to get 4 energy and a mask for big entrance and Professor Xavier Global. Big entrance, go to the bag, turn 2. I'm hoping to get, with 6 energy, I'm hoping to get, 5 energy and an action, I'm hoping to get the big entrance action phase. I'm hoping to get 3 energy, 1 bolt, other 2 don't matter, and then at this point you can depending on how aggro you want to be. I personally like going the kobold route. I like going kobolds just because it helps you ramp. However, if my opponent's playing a little bit more aggressive deck, I'll go with the Miri route. Miri is just really good because she's going to help me get things out quicker. And at that point, it's just about filling your bag with Miris and kobolds. Kobolds are going to give you energy to buy Miris, kobolds, and then possibly buying another big entrance, depending on how well you keep up with your churn and your ramp on Professor Xavier. So essentially, what you're doing here is you're loading up the field with guys, with maybe a kobold. Some sidekicks, a couple Black Widows. You want to get in early. The early route damage is going to be Black Widow, and like I said, Guy Gardner is going to be our finisher. He's going to be our guy to come in at the last second, and literally take up too much board presence on their side because it basically doesn't matter. It basically just doesn't matter if they kill him because he's just going to return to your bag and he's just going to get back into your reserve pool anyways. And you're just going to keep attacking with him anyways. So it really doesn't matter whether he gets blocked or not. If he goes unblocked, that's like at minimum on his 4 cost on his number 1 or 3rd phase 4 damage, which is still pretty big. But if he's at least attacking with 2 other guys, that's another 6. That's 6 damage. Like 6 damage getting through on turn 3 or 4. However long is not very good, especially if they've been chunked down quite a bit. So yeah, I just like Guy a lot. I think he's really cool. Black Widow, she's my baby. She's my first super rare. I just love her ability way too much not to play her. She's just way too good, and she just fits really, really well within this team. The Iron Fist, like I said, is there to kind of help against things. They're just kind of help slow down your opponent in case they happen to get ahead of you. But yeah, basically all your damage is coming from the Lantern Ring, keeping reserves. As long as you have a kobold on the field and start, that's all you really need to take advantage of the swarm. Then you use the remaining energy for lantern damage, and essentially you're just punching them in the face with your Lantern Ring, which I find flavorful. It's not very nice because it can be really mean, but I like it, and it's fun to win, and yeah, it's a little janky, but I really like it, and I just love the cards that are in here so far. So it's a lot of fun. This is the team that I've been working on, and I will start tweaking around and hopefully get ready for the professional circuit. at least I will be playing a Lantern Ring team. Now, if things come out in the meta to change that hinders that, then I'll just have to figure out something else. But this is kind of what I've been playing with lately. I really, really like it. It's a lot of fun, despite how mean it is. It can be mean. That's my Dice Masters. One of my Dice Masters team I'm working on so far. I do have another cool lantern, different or separate colored lantern team that I'm working on, which is started working on this morning, and it's far from complete, but it'll be fun. That's the Dice Masters team that I've been working on. Basically, another thing I wanted to just talk about was TV. I am watching so much TV right now, which is kind of crazy because I work not necessarily full time, but about full time, just under full time, and I play a lot of games, and I guess it's not really that big of a deal. I watch TV, I work. That's my life right now. The shows that I am watching currently this fall are we'll start at the beginning of my work of my TV week is Doctor Who season 9, The Walking Dead season 6. I did start Supergirl. Gotham season 2 started as well. The Flash season 2 started as well. Season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started as well, and season 4 of Arrow is now on. It's all DC comic stuff, or DC and Marvel comic, TV shows. But that's just what I'm really liking. That's what I like a lot. This season is really good. For all the shows I'm watching, with the exception of Supergirl. I'll start with that just because I don't necessarily care. Supergirl just kind of strikes me as odd. My weird thing I get about it is just how often they reference Superman. I don't really care for that. I think it's fine, if that's the way you want to do it, whatever. But I don't really think that's really smart, especially when you have a whole DC universe in movies and TV, in the movies they're specifically trying to stay away from the fact that that they could be connected or anything like that. But it's just odd because they're always referencing Superman, and it's like, well, is he ever going to show up in the show? He could. Kara, I also hate that they pronounce her name Kara. I prefer the Kara pronunciation. So that's what I'm going to call her, Kara. She's cool enough. She's just really, really happy, It just strikes me as odd that you have a character, especially in a comic book hero, that's just so happy and so good, She's just really, really good. So it makes me wonder if that eventually they're gonna change it so well. Okay, spoilers for people who don't watch these shows. If you don't watch these shows and aren't up to date on them, don't watch these videos because I will talk about spoilers. You have been warned. You have 5 seconds to shut up, to change to something else. Okay. So the end of the episode, episode 2, she is trying to fight. She finally confronts her aunt. Her aunt Astra, who is apparently a Kryptonian criminal, and Supergirl, or Kara's mother, sent her to the Phantom Zone. So she wants revenge, which is fine. But then we also learn that she is not the big head honcho behind things. There is somebody else that is still pulling the strings. I don't know anything about Supergirl. All I know is that she's Superman's cousin, and that she dies in Crisis on Infinite Earths. So don't really know too much about her. That's probably the only reason why I will continue to watch this show. It's not that I don't think it's good or that I don't think it has potential. It's just really, really campy, and I can usually handle a lot of campy stuff. But it's really campy. It's just really, really too happy. The main character, while I get her motivations that she wants to be this, she wants to be this really happy, good person that's always helping people. And they're trying to cement it into us that that's how Krypton is, or that's how Krypton was, rather. You know, I haven't read too much, and I don't know too much about her. And my knowledge of Superman is definitely dying, just because I haven't been keeping up on him and all this, and I'm not 100% on all of the lore. But it seems fine for right now. I'm gonna give it another couple episodes and see how it goes, but I'm not too sure. It probably will pick up. I mean, it's being written by the same people who wrote The Flash, and I love The Flash. Oh my god, I love The Flash. It's so good. So yeah, Supergirl. I would say check it out. I'd say it's worth checking out at least. And then you decide from there. Me, it's alright. It's not awesome. It's no Flash. It's no Arrow. It's definitely no Shield or even well, The Walking Dead and Doctor Who are just in a league of their own, in my opinion. So yeah, that's Supergirl since it's not really that crazy. Doctor Who, wow, Doctor Who is getting kind of crazy as well. The Zygon invasion, holy shit, that was crazy. That escalated quickly. Yeah, what's there to say about it? I mean, so I have been talking to my cousin Pamela, Pam, as I normally call her. You probably will refer to her mostly, and she's the one who got me into Doctor Who. When we talk about it, we're mostly new Whovians. We've been wanting to get into the old stuff, just haven't found the time to do it. So yeah, holy cow, that was a way good way to leave you hanging out to dry there. What was worse was there was no promo after the show, and it blew my mind. I was just like, they always have a promo after the show. No, this time it was pretty awful. You're left hanging. So, a couple theories here. We all know that Clara's leaving at the end of the season, or even in the middle of the season. I'm inclined to think the latter. This hybrid business. What could that be? What could that mean? A couple things with that is that we think the hybrid business could foreshadow and lead into what's going on in the Christmas special with the return of River Song. Because we all know that she's a hybrid. We also know that a Shielder is a hybrid and that she has been watching over Clara. We also know what else about hybrids. Oh, there's also the Davros mentioning at the very beginning about a hybrid that would either kill the Doctor or I can't quite remember. It's been a while since I've watched the first episode, but so yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say actually about it because I'm just really confused about. I just don't know what to expect. I don't know what's happening. As far as Clara, I kind of hope she's dead right now. Not dead, but that she'll leave at the end of this episode. These this Zygon invasion. Whether she gets killed or whether she just leaves the Doctor, which I very, very much doubt. I almost think they're gonna have to kill her because she would never leave on her own. Never, ever, ever. So that's one worry, and it would actually make me feel okay about it because Clara has really, really frustrated me ever since last season with the whole regeneration thing and how she just didn't really get it. Even after you explain to her and they say, "Well, but I explained and this is what happened," and she just doesn't. I don't know. It's just stupid, and she's just been really, really dumb, and I just don't like it a lot. I don't very care for her. I don't care for her as much as I used to. Not when she was with 11. She just got really especially the whole Danny thing. It just was all about her. It was all about Danny, and she should have been helping the Doctor. And well, she shouldn't have been lying to either of them in the first place. That was her biggest problem. Was she always kept lying, and now she's just something's off ever since for the past 3 or 4 episodes that she's come in. She's all super campy and happy and go lucky, and well, and then also like the Jane Austen reference at in the first episode where she says that she snogged Jane Austen, and I was like, is it Jane Austen? I can't remember. One of those classical writers. Um, there are just some weird, strange things that are off about her. One theory that I've had is that she is insane, or that traveling with the Doctor has made her insane and um, desensitized to what could happen in the world, and so that's why the Doctor will have to leave her, or he'll figure out that she's sick or something and send her off on her own. Um, that's one idea. Another idea one idea that my cousin had that kind of fizzled was that she was pregnant, but no, that didn't end up panning out. Um, yeah, Doctor Who's really good, really fun, a lot. I like it. The Zygons are really cool. I'm actually really kind of scared about what's going on. So yeah, that'll be fun. The Walking Dead is the next show in my week on Sundays. Oh, The Walking Dead. So again, if you're still watching, you didn't listen to my spoiler attention. I'll do it again just because it's The Walking Dead. Spoilers, like, stop watching. You have 5 seconds. Okay, yeah. So if you're still here, you're an idiot. But or you just want to listen to what I'm saying because you guys are awesome. Uh, yeah. Holy shit. Okay, first of all, is Glenn dead? Is he not? I think he's dead. And he should be dead. If they don't kill him, I won't say that I'll be upset, but I'll be a little upset because that's kind of cheap, how I mean, okay, well, let's look at the facts. Like, okay, Glenn was shot, or Glenn wasn't shot. Glenn was not killed by a bullet or anything like that. He was killed because Nicholas was having PTSD, he was freaking out, and he screwed them both over. Now the theory is that Nicholas fell on top of Glenn, and the scene where the walkers are eating Glenn are from above him, and they're eating Nicholas and not Glenn. The other theory is that that he hits his head so hard that he passes out. They've already covered that covering yourself in walker blood and having their scent on you is works against them. So it's possible that he could still be alive. I really, really, really hope that he's not, and hope that he is dead, because for one, when that happened, I like died inside for a minute. I just got back from the gym, was making some breakfast, and I was watching it, I was finishing it up, and it happened, and I just, hand over my mouth, and just for like 5 minutes had to sit down and was like, oh my gosh, because Glenn's been there. Glenn's been my favorite. Probably been my favorite since season 1. I love Rick, but I just loved Glenn so much. He just was really, really, really moral. Like, he's just the type of guy that I can really identify with. So yeah, I'm really, really sad to see him go. Was really sad to see him go. And if he's alive, cool, but they better kill him at the end of the season, because it's one thing to kill a guy that you have or to kill a character that you have emotional attachment. It's another thing to bring him back and play around with that emotion. I mean, it's cool because they're alive, but it's like you may as well say dead. Like I emotionally can't handle this, because TV shows do that to us. We all are like that. We all don't want to admit it, but we all can agree that TV shows incite these emotions in us, and and that's why we love them. So yeah, I think he's dead. I really hope he's dead. Just really, really hope he's dead, because I don't like that. I don't like how they're like, oh nope, he's alive because he's Glenn. No, I mean, even Glenn can't get in everything. Like, I'm just praying for the day that they kill Daryl and Rick. I honestly would love to see them kill all of the original members and have them develop characters that you start to love again. That you start to develop new characters that you start to love, and you're like, okay, I'm not okay. I'm sad that Rick goes, but I'm not that sad because we still got this cool person. So yeah, I would love to see. That's what I would love to see going forward. And I think that if the show never gets canceled, that's probably what they're going to have to do. So yeah, The Walking Dead was pretty insane. That was 2 weeks ago. Now this week was more about Morgan, which I loved. This was an awesome character development episode where we got to learn about what happened to Morgan after Rick had left him in that one town while he still was crazy. The first scene with Morgan and the hunters, the two people, the hunters, the kid and the son and the father. Ooh, man, that was pretty intense, and it just goes to show how far he was gone. But it also is really cool because he meets Eastman and he learns that not everything, like, yeah, things may be in the shithole, but that doesn't mean we have to stop being decent people. Which is really cool. Which also speaks to me. It says, no matter how bad the world gets, and no matter how bad things can get in the world, like, you can still always be a decent person. It's not always the best, and it's not always fun. Especially that scene where Morgan destroys his piece of drywall, that drywall painting from Eastman's daughter, and he was literally, like, you see it in his eyes. He literally considers taking Morgan's life and getting revenge, but he doesn't do that because he learned through what he went through with the serial killer, and it was really, really cool. I liked Eastman a lot. I liked that actor a lot. I thought it was really, really well done, really well acted. Just a lot of cool, like, emotions being played in that episode. A lot of, like, you got to finally learn, like, what Morgan was doing, like, where he comes from. And I love that Morgan's back with the group, or is finally with the group, because he never was actually with them in the first place. And he's just awesome. I just love Morgan. He's really, really cool. And actually, it was really funny. I was watching it with a friend, and we were wondering. I was like, "Well, what kind of martial arts is that Morgan knows, or what? Where does he learn that?" And it was really cool to find out that he learned it from Eastman. But I was talking to my friend, and she's like, "What is it?" And I was like, "I think it's Aikido." And I honestly had no idea. But I made a guess because I had heard that Aikido does have to deal with redirecting energy, and so I felt kind of cool, even lucky, and lucky, because I guessed that. And again, silly things that I think are funny. So yeah, The Walking Dead. We'll finally get to see next week what happened to I don't know. We may not. We may have one more episode where we figure out or what's going on with Rick, or like or what's going on over there, and how, like, we may even get just one more episode, because sometimes The Walking Dead does that, or sometimes the format goes like that. However, I do think that we will find out what happened with Glenn, rather, next episode. Mondays, Gotham. Ooh, Gotham. Wow, Gotham was really cool this week. So, again, those of you who are watching it and following, we have, right now what's going on is Gallivan, he's basically controlling the city, becoming mayor, or he finally becomes the mayor in this episode. Penguin is at his last wits with him. He's freaking out. He finally gets Gilzine to deliver his mom, or to tell him where his mom is at. He goes, and he ends up finding out that Butch basically breaks free of the mind control that was put on him last season. And so he's kind of just his own guy, and he breaks away from Penguin. And so yeah, and then and then Gallivan comes in and kills Penguin's mom. So that's a big deal. Big fights going on. Gordon starts figuring out that Gallivan is not the guy that he says he is. And at the end of the episode, he decides to go after Gallivan, which I think is actually pretty cool. I really like that, because it just goes to show. Because my big question about this show was, well, how are they going to keep it together? Like, is Gordon just always going to, like, rush into, like, jump into the wall and, like, keep hitting his head against the wall with somebody because he, that's Gordon. That's, anybody who reads Batman knows that that's Gordon. And it looks like we are going to actually get that some more, which, is good. It's also bad. I'm really excited to see all these villains to become who they are, especially since that's what this season is Rise of the Villains. The Ed Nigma stuff, like the Riddler stuff with Ed, oh man, that was genius. you get this whole story, this whole side of the story with Ed, and and he's freaking out, and he's just this little teeny worm of a man who just wants to be loved, and he just wants to give his love to people, and it breaks through in his psychosis, and it just turns into something completely different. The Riddler, the dark enigma, or the Riddler persona starts to come through, and he realizes and he's finally starting to and now maybe he's not come to grips with it, but he's admitted it, and he's now he's willing to kill, and he's willing to be the Riddler. He's really looking for that excitement that the Riddler gets, especially, and also it's really cool because then you have some really cool character details about a villain that not everybody knows everything. Like if you read Batman, then you know what the Riddler's like, or if you've been following Batman since you were a kid like I am, you know kind of what the Riddler's like and how he just kind of wants to beat Batman in his own game, and how he wants to be just smarter than Batman and all this other stuff. But it's really, really cool where that kind of develops in that the Riddler is telling Ed ooh, could you imagine the rush that was going through you, that if she would have caught you, what you would have had to do, what you would have absolutely had to do to keep yourself safe and all this other stuff. And so it's just really, really cool to see this dark persona that I've never seen of the Riddler to come out and come through. So that was really cool. I really, really enjoyed that. The whole Galavan going after Bruce thing is kind of interesting as well too. Because of the whole history of of their ancestors and how the Waynes had the Galavans family banished. But it's also kind of fun. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Obviously he doesn't succeed. That's the only problem with these prequel series, is that we already know the story. We know the main story. We're not going to get anything super exciting. We're just going to get tidbits of things that happened in the past that are just oh wow, that's really, really cool, or oh okay, that makes sense. That's why this person's like this, or whatever. For example, the whole jab at Bruce, between Bruce and Selina, about Bruce being a good judge of character, which is really funny because later on when he becomes Batman, he is an excellent judge of character. He's a dick, but he's still an excellent judge of character. And so it's just really fun to watch all these little tiny character details develop within these characters on the TV show. So it'll be fun. There's one more thing in Gotham that's going on. I can't quite think of that I wanted to mention. It's just, I don't know, it's a really dark show, and I'm surprised. I'm really surprised at how well it's being done and being handled by Fox. I think the writers got, I'll have to look up the writer because I don't know his name, but I think the writers got some really good stuff, and I think he is delivering pretty well. And I hope it keeps going because I'm really liking it a lot. I love Benjamin McKenzie. I love Donald Logue. Lowell? I don't remember. The guy who's, Bullock, basically. Yeah, they do a really, really good job of showing you that Gotham is not a place to, you probably shouldn't raise your kids there, even though the Batman was raised there. Or they're going to turn out like Batman, or Nightwing. So yeah, it'll be interesting, it'll be cool. It'll be, now Gordon has to fight City Hall once again, which is pretty much what he always does. So it'll be cool. I'm excited for Gotham. Let's see here. Shield, Arrow, and the Flash. Okay, so I'll talk about Shield because Flash and Arrow you can kind of talk about at the same time. Shield was really cool this week. We got a big reveal on who Lash is. We finally learned who Lash is, and I was so surprised. I could not believe that. I did not want to believe. I really thought, when Daisy comes up with the whole idea that that it's Banks in the ACTU. I was like, well, maybe not, but like at least it's somebody. Maybe it's not somebody who works in the ACTU, but at least it's somebody who works. Or I mean, rather, it's not Banks, but somebody who worked in the ACTU, ATCU. I can't remember the acronym. But the fact that it was Andrew, wow, I was not expecting that at all. Which is crazy because it makes me think that they're gonna have to have May kill him. I don't think anybody else is gonna be able to kill him. Not just for the fact that they're not strong enough, because yeah, May is only a human, and Lash slash Andrew is an inhuman with crazy powers who blows energy through people's chests. But I think that's just how it's gonna happen. I think that writers these days are just finding more ways to be like Stephen Moffat and to rip your heart out. And I think that's one way to do it. Um, Also, it would go along with the rumors that Ming Na Wen, May, the lady who plays May, may not be back for season 4, and that may be leaving at the end of the season, which would make sense because if if Andrew is Lash, and if that's what ends up happening, and they have to kill him, that's perfectly good reason for why May would leave. As for like Phil, oh man, I'm loving Phil a lot. He's really turning into Fury. He's really acting a lot like Fury. Um, and he's kind of, and I feel for him too because he's kind of backed into a corner with this ACTU thing, um, and how he has to work with them. And it's also really leading up nicely into the Civil War. Civil War is going to definitely drive a stake in between that team because I guarantee you it's going to be Daisy, Bobby, possibly, or no, Daisy, Hunter, Fitz, most likely, and like I don't know, one other guy. I can't think of any other character, who are probably going to be on Captain America's side after Civil War. On the other side, we're definitely going to have Phil on Iron Man's side. We're going to definitely have what's his name, Mac on Pro Registration side. I could definitely see May being on Pro Registration side. I could see Bobby. Maybe Bobby would be more like a neutral because I think she does agree that there does need to be something, but I don't know if she goes. So maybe she'd be a Cap side. I'm not sure. So yeah. Oh, I do have one. So yeah, this episode was really cool. We got to we got to find out, or Bobby and May went after Strucker, and did they end up getting him? I was watching something, or I was doing something else at the time. Can't quite remember. I'll have to go back and watch it again. My bad, guys. But the biggest thing that I really want to say about Agents of Shield is actually I really think that we saw an early iteration slash introduction to Venom and Carnage. And why I say that is because in the episode previous to this one, it's like 4,077 hours or something like that. The one, where we find out what happens to Simmons on the other side of the portal. At the end of the episode where Simmons goes out and is looking for the portal, and she ends up running into the thing, that has been eating and killing the other things, and it gets, or people that are on the planet, and gets into people's heads. My theory is that that thing is actually the Carnage slash Venom symbiote. Now people who are watching this and know a lot about Venom and Carnage, don't bite my head off because I don't know everything. I don't know all of it. All I know is that he's an alien symbiote that comes from outer space, specifically like an asteroid or a meteor or something that they found. I'm not sure. I'm going off of what I remember from the Spider-Man cartoon, and that's pretty much it. But that doesn't change the fact that this is what I think could happen. I think we're still 2 years out from Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man. They haven't announced a villain. All they've announced are a couple of key players who are going to be in it. Marissa Tomei playing Aunt May, Tom Holland playing Peter Parker, Jameson's going to be back, the guy who originally played Jameson. Iron Man will probably be in it. Yeah, so we just know very, very little about it. So, my guess is this, is now that there is an established Marvel movie universe or cinematic universe, we could see an introduction into like bigger characters and bigger villains and stuff like that. So why not bring in Venom and Carnage, or even just Venom? Because at the end of the episode, when you see the guy, the whatever it was, all wrapped, he's all up in this like black stained whatever or something. Um, and so that was my initial thought was Venom. Ooh, that could be Venom. That could be where Venom's from. Um, so my so this is my theory. My guess and my theory is that they're gonna get him back. Wes or Will was his name. They're gonna get Will back. They'll figure it out because Fitz and Simmons are smart and genius. And because why wouldn't they? They'll get him back. Something's gonna go wrong. He's gonna be actually the one who's kind of crazy and insane. Um, and he could be Venom. Maybe not exactly Venom, or maybe like maybe like the symbiote attached onto him and something went wrong, or the symbiote realizes that it's away from there and it starts creeping around, and then for 2 years it kind of runs around until it finds Eddie Brock or Flash Thompson or whoever you want to put it as. Um, or they could even just figure it out and like, hey, look at this symbiote, so they'll keep it, and so then they'll introduce the whole Flash Thompson as Agent Venom thing. Um, so yeah, that's my theory about Agents of Shield right now. Is that Ward? Well, Ward's starting to get in over his head too with the big Hydra guy. Oh, wait a minute. Wasn't that guy the? Well, he's probably playing a different character now. I was just saying, wasn't that guy the head of the council in Avengers, the first Avengers? That's what or at least the actor. I don't know if it's the same character, but it could be. Which I wouldn't doubt because Hydra did infiltrate everything. So that's something to think about. Flash and Arrow. All I have to say about Flash is I think they're being incredibly stupid. I think trusting. Well, it's not that I don't have a problem with trusting Earth 2 Dr. Wells. It's that I have a problem with his solution. I don't think capturing Linda, or I don't think capturing Dr. Light and then using Linda, the Earth 1 Linda Park is going to be really smart to capture Zoom, and Barry is nowhere near too close to even being fighting Zoom, in my opinion. Because, in my opinion, also another theory I have is that Zoom is actually just Wells, aka Eobard Thawne. However, I do think that he is the more evolved and the further along the timeline stream version of Wells slash Eobard Thawne. Because, sure, Eobard Thawne could be dead, or Eddie may have killed himself, or Eobard Thawne may be dead, but or may not have existed at that point, but it's the Reverse Flash. It's Zoom, like AKA Zoom slash Reverse Flash. In the comics, they're the same person. And I have a feeling that they're going to be the same person in this one. They always find a way to come back. And if Zoom is like the Earth 2 version, or of somebody else, or like some crazy other speedster, cool. That surprises me. But yeah, I don't think it's very smart, and I think the next episode we will find out that Jay was right, and that and it's just gonna go terribly wrong. I have a feeling. Arrow was really sweet this week. Constantine back was really, really fun. He's way funny. Learning, just bringing Sarah back. It was cool. It was kind of convenient and nice for them to bring Constantine back so that Sarah doesn't go insane, so that she can be in Legends of Tomorrow. So, along with that, here's another theory that I think that Thea or Felicity are going to die at the end of the season. The only reason I say that is because, I'm thinking about something else that has nothing to do with Constantine or this episode. Yeah, no, it was just a lot of fun. Constantine was really funny and he was cool, and like watching him do the magic was really fun, and the flashbacks were really really cool as well. I loved the flashback, especially the part where he's like, how'd you do that? He's like, that's the thing, mate. It's magic that can't be explained or something like that. It's just really really funny. I thought it was a good interaction there. So I'm really hoping actually that it gets picked up again. I didn't watch the whole series because it was on Fridays and I worked a lot, and Friday's not a good TV day watching for me. TV watching day for me. So, who knows? We'll see. I'm excited. It'll be fun. I really hope it gets picked back up again because the couple episodes that I did see were really really cool and I liked it a lot. But who knows? Arrow actually seems like more of a superhero show to me. He's finally donned the Green Arrow persona. He's running for mayor. He's fighting crime at night. And all the while, it's got Damien Dark, this big bad, in the background who just kind of sits around waiting to play his move. So it's a little bit like Season 2 in that aspect, where you had Slade. Well, Slade didn't make himself known until about mid-season. It's basically the same thing. He keeps just making things happen for Team Arrow to deal with, and eventually it's going to come to a showdown, and I think it'll be cool. And the fact that Constantine was scared of him should say something as well. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. This is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But I hope you guys enjoyed me ranting off and bantering. If you like this video, follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Brown Messiah is Brown Messiah is my Twitter name. I believe Brown Messiah is my YouTube channel as well, or The Brown Messiah is my YouTube channel as well. I'll have to double check, but I will be talking to you guys later, and hopefully I will be doing more of these videos more often because, yeah. Cool. We will see you guys later.